Before you call the Baphomet evil, make sure that you watch this video until the end so you gain a full understanding on what the Baphomet truly is. No, I am not a Satanist. I am simply an esoteric and occult researcher. I've been looking into symbolism for a very long time, and I can reassure you that this symbol does not represent the devil, does not represent any negative figure. It's a very deep, occult, esoteric symbol. What we first need to understand about the Baphomet, it is indeed a symbol. Every symbol we see around us is neutral. The pentagram, the Baphomet, is neutral. It depends how you use it, whether it is used in a good or bad way. Everything is neutral. It's your mind's perception that gives it a positive or a negative charge. First of all, let's break down the Baphomet symbol. Let's look very closely at the Baphomet. We have clearly the 4 physical elements corresponding to the Baphomet. Here we clearly have the fire element. The wings represents the air, the flapping in the air. The fish scales, which is the water. And this dome figure representing the earth. The soul is incarnated into 4 bodies. We have a mental body of consciousness, intellect. We have an emotional body of consciousness, which is all to do with intuition and energy. We have a spiritual body of consciousness, our astral body, and a physical body of consciousness for the physical earth. Earth corresponds with your body, air corresponds with your mind, fire corresponds with your spirit, water corresponds with your emotions. So the Baphomet is showing you the 4 elements of the soul, the 4 bodies of the soul that we are incarnated in. Now, let's look at this moon figure. We have the moon. The moon represents the internal world. It represents what we cannot see. The sun represents our conscious mind, what we can see, what we're aware of, the physical world. The moon represents what we are not aware of. It represents our internal world. Remember, we have 2 worlds. You're an individual. You have a dual nature. Individual. You have an internal world. When you close your eyes, you have an internal voice, an internal world of thought and emotion, and an external world of this material body. The moon represents the internal. The moon on top represents the moon controlling the mind, represents the inner world controlling you. Now this is very symbolic in the occult world. If the inner world is controlling you, then you have no control over reality. This is the devil horns. You know the devil horns? The moon crescent? This represents you are the devil. You're being controlled by your thoughts, by your emotions, by your psyche. Then we have the moon below, which represents control over the inner world. We have control over our thoughts, our emotions, our impulses. So you're either being controlled by thought and emotions, or you're controlling them and having self-mastery. In alchemy, we always see this symbol of the man or woman on top of the moon, representing emotional control and self-mastery of the internal world. The journey of the occultist is to gain full mastery over their consciousness. They want to be conscious of every single thought that enters their mental field of consciousness. We get over 7,000 thoughts a day. It is possible to achieve a certain level of mastery where you are conscious of every single thought that enters your mind. This is one of the end goals of self-mastery and occultism, as this gains your personal power. When one achieves this, they are then able to direct the mind in one place and one place only, becoming more effective in manifestation and creation, because we are microcosms of the divine. We are creators. This is the gesture of as above, so below. The inner world and the outer world are mirrors of each other. The inner produces the outer. Your physical life circumstances are a result of every thought you thought in the past. The inner projects the outer. If you want to produce a change in the outside world, you got to produce change in the inner world of consciousness first. As above, so below. As within, so without. This corresponds with absolutely everything in the universe. Now we have the goat head, which represents the animal self. This represents the lower carnal mind. Lower carnal mind, which is earthbound, because a goat is on the ground. It's not a bird, it's on the ground. It represents the lower self, the beastie nature, the one that tells us to hate, to steal, to eat all the time, to consume. It's the beast within us, the beastly side of our consciousness. It has a human body resembling this. the human in the beastie nature, or we have the spiritual nature, the higher self. In essence, this symbol of the Baphomet represents the higher and the lower self of human consciousness. It represents the higher and the lower. To conclude all of this, the Baphomet is a symbol that represents the two paths that one can take. We can take the beastie path and become an instinctual animal, our body, or we can take the divine path of reaching our higher self. It is a symbol that represents the higher and lower self and the four different bodies of consciousness. In essence, this does not represent Satan or the devil. The devil represents the lower aspect of our human psyche. The war between Jesus and Satan is symbolic and allegorical for the war that happens within our mental field of consciousness. The internal war between good thoughts and bad thoughts, positive emotions and negative emotions. It is the constant war inside the battlefield of your own mind. Jesus, Satan are symbols, characters that are symbolic of aspects of your own consciousness, because the universe is mental. The only thing that truly exists is your mind. Therefore, all of these ancient spiritual texts like the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran are all symbolic of what's happening inside of our mental body. It is the inner chaos that can destroy our life, or when we create structure and restructure our inner world, we can live a peaceful life. If you are struggling from the internal world and you want to gain mastery of yourself while learning the occult secrets, join Ethereal University, a community of like-minded individuals who are all striving for the best versions of themselves. We host live calls and we have an abundance of lectures that you can watch. Or check out the Book of Wisdom. This is volume 2. I'll leave all the links in the description. Have an amazing day.